The mid to late 2000s was the greatest era for growing up playing console games. Growing up gaming in the mid 2000s, you had Xbox gamers, PlayStation gamers, and the super weird kids that played PC games.
But I've been the Prince of Darkness since 1979.
And to take it even further, you could divide all of those gamers into 3 subcategories: Battlefield gamers, Call of Duty gamers, and others. Me personally, I played PlayStation and PC, but most importantly, I was a Battlefield gamer. I came out of the womb with an M1 Grand and a flight stick. My first game was Battlefield 1942. My brother and I had a little game we like to call Team Killin' and 4 Willin', which meant we were running people over, baby. Friends, enemies, didn't matter. It was vehicular manslaughter in the first degree, premeditated type beat. Shortly after the release of 1942, 2 iconic Battlefield games were released: Battlefield 2 and Battlefield 2142. I played both, but leaned hard left for Battlefield 2142. It was amazing. Literally the best Battlefield ever made. It was awesome. Then another banger that was ahead of its time: Battlefield Heroes. Now, most of you nerds don't remember this game, so I'm gonna make a video about it. No spoilers until then. Make sure you like and subscribe so you don't miss that video. The next banger that would come out started a 10-year absolute tear for Battlefield. Back to back to back to back to back to back, absolute bangers. But just like all good things, it had to come to an end. Battlefield 5 was basically a reskin of Battlefield 1. And then there's Battlefield 2042. Battlefield 2042 was probably the biggest dump Battlefield has ever taken, but today is not a roast on Battlefield 2042. Let me know if you want to see that, dope. Let's get serious. I talk about Battlefield to actually set the stage to talk about a game that, while does walk in the shadow of Battlefield, has really shattered all expectations. For how the game looks, you'd never expect this game to be as popular as it is. The gameplay is extremely enjoyable. All the systems you would expect from a fun FPS game are there. And best of all, you get what you pay for. There's no loot boxes, there's no paywall content. You pay $15, you have full access to a game that was clearly made by people that care about the genre. Today, we're taking a look at BattleBit. While BattleBit is still in pre-release, there are more systems that are better defined and have overall higher fidelity than what came with the release of EA's latest Battlefield titles, specifically Battlefield 2042. To start, BattleBit has a role system that includes squad lead, assault, medic, engineer, recon support. These are a return to traditional Battlefield roles. No specializations, no weird personal identity within a role. It's basic, but it's well defined. And it works, just like it did when Battlefield was good. Crazy how that works. Each role has unique gadgets, and sometimes unique weapons, that give you that classic Battlefield class identity. There's nothing crazy here, and that's a good thing. I would equate these roles to the Trinity system in MMORPGs. Tank, healer, damage. They work well, people know what to expect, and they have a simple understanding of how each class works. Well enough that they can jump into any of them and just play the game. Guns in BattleBit, I don't think you understand. They are way too good for a Roblox looking game, and most of the guns feel distinguishable from one another in a meaningful way. Also, the amount of information and the degree to which you can customize your gun to your engagement style is spectacular. What's even better, your attachments mean something. Each attachment has a clear and numerical impact to how your gun performs. None of this increase vertical recoil, decrease horizontal recoil, decrease range. No. Numerical values, no hidden bullshit. It feels like the changes you make to your weapon are actually impactful. It's not just a cosmetic change. Speaking of change, personal healing. I never knew I wanted this in Battlefield until I got it in BattleBit. This is a game changer. Like Battlefield, BattleBit still has the problem of you having trash can teammates that don't know how to heal while they are playing medic. These developers must have had this problem in their Battlefield past too, because adding this, thank you, Daddy. And while we're talking about bad teammates, let's just take a moment to appreciate this addition.
You're coming with me. You think you're
Local and squad voice chat is mandatory in Battlefield games. Why 2042 launched without this feature and what is an arcadey team-based shooter is beyond me. But BattleBit takes it one step further. Hot mic. Hot mic is fantastic. Hearing someone rage after you obliterate them is one of the funniest modern experiences you can have playing a video game. This is a fantastic addition. Any FPS that is remotely arcadey, not games like Arma, Not games like Squad and Tarkov, but games like this need this feature. Now, I think BattleBit executes a bunch of systems well. To briefly touch on the ones that I didn't mention previously, squad deployables are good. They aren't overbearing and completely game break. Vehicles are impactful, but they aren't overly oppressive in any way that makes them feel like cheat code. You are awarded properly for playing the objective like you should be in a team-based shooter. Having the ability to spawn on all teammates makes it easier to play with your squad in a fun way. This is great. Destructible environments feel fun without just completely deleting the map. And most importantly, the feedback system in this game is absolutely phenomenal, especially for a pre-release game. Who knew surveys could be so good for getting feedback in your game? Take notes, EA. And while I do think all of these systems are good, the game is good, I think there's some stuff BattleBit could do better. I've got diverse opinions. I've got constructive feedback. Listen, let's address the largest issue first here. The one that people will try to hang their hat on when they attempt to discredit this game. The graphics. Yes, these graphics look like a Roblox game. Yes, it is easier to create content for a game that has blocky objects and minimal graphic intensity. Hitboxes are easier to define. Hit detection for objects are easier. Design is more simplistic overall. Yes, yes, yes. You, Reddit warrior, are right for all of these points. Congratulations.
Have a gold star.
However, it's still a good game, pussy. What makes a game a good game is not how cinematic the game is. Is Elden Ring beautiful? My God, yes. But if the combat was dog shit, no one would play it. Is Breath of the Wild breathtaking? Yes. But if the world didn't blend seamlessly into gameplay to create an ultra immersive experience, the game wouldn't be nearly as engaging. What makes or breaks games are the systems that you interact with while you play the game. How the game feels, combat, reward systems, words. Yes, immersion is important. Graphics are too, but they don't make a good game. No amount of beauty makes up for terrible gameplay. Go take a look at The Order, 1886. It is the classic example of beautiful game, terrible mechanics, bad player-based reaction. You can tell that the developers of BattleBit took time and really thought about what sort of systems do other FPS games have that are fun, and how can we implement those systems in our game better. And they really do a good job of adapting those systems for BattleBit. Saying that, this game does have a huge problem. Well, it has a few. Number one, screen clutter. Dude, come on. This game is too good to have this shit. Get someone with some UI experience. Get someone to help you solve this. Give me a slider so I can solve it myself or something. This is atrocious. The UI is so bad sometimes, you can't even see anything in front of you on your screen. Speaking of not being able to see in front of you, let's talk about buildings and shadows, depth perception if you will. You can add shading to corners, edges, and walls without bricking that one idiot's Dell Dimension L550. Another problem is voice chat. A minor issue, but it fades in and out extremely quickly, and there is some sort of weird filter added to the voice chat to make it sound like a radio or something. Get rid of that, it ain't good. There are some minor issues as well, such as block bushes not really changing opacity, or I guess you could call it density, even when you change your graphic settings. This gets in the way a lot of the time, and it's pretty annoying. Also, some maps aren't great, but this could be just you guys sending out all the maps and using feedback to adjust them accordingly, so this isn't a huge issue. Some maps also have really wide open sections and minimal cover. Some maps are favored based on your team. Normal pre-release map issues, to be honest. Also, some guns aren't balanced. There are definitely better options, but most notably, and I think this is on the horizon potentially, but I'd like to see more options for gun parts. Adding stocks, handguards, and grips, I think will go a long way for customization and gun adaptability. Lastly, I think either increasing time to kill slightly or decreasing movement speed slightly would make the game more enjoyable. I just think the game is slightly too fast for some of the systems you have in the game. Why wait to be revived when I can just spawn back into the game and instantly get back into combat? Overall, I think BattleBit is a breath of fresh air to the FPS genre. It really proves that you don't need a crazy development team to make a game that is fun and engaging. It also adds to the many game examples that graphics aren't everything. Gameplay and systems rule this current market for games. And most importantly, I think BattleBit really shows consumers and developers there are options for good games outside of AAA content and large developers. Support the gamers that are making video games for other gamers. Don't support the guys in suits that want to profit off of us as users. Vote with your wallet. Thanks for watching. I've been Java Monkey J. Peace.